Newsflash, y'all. The real estate market is shifting, and for the seller and the seller's agent, the reality is you just can't stick a sign in your yard and listen to MLS and call it a day. You have to do better than that.
Yeah, times have changed. And so we're going to go through and we're going to show you how we list and market homes in order to sell them for the most money in the shortest amount of time possible. So this is the real estate backstory. We do this every week. My name is Alan Rich. I'm the managing broker here at Maximum One.
And my name's Ming Richardson. I'm the compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
Now, one thing we do want to kind of jump in just really quickly is we realize that markets hate uncertainty.
Absolutely.
And if you watch the news at any given time right now, there is a lot of uncertainty. There's people talking about tariffs and
The
earnings
war,
and this and that and mortgage rates and inflation. And I get that.
fraud.
The thing is that we also have an administration that thrives on disruption. So I guess our basic advice here is
Embrace it.
Embrace the disruption. I mean, like our markets are going to be kind of haywire. All these things happening in the market, you know what? They really don't impact your business nearly as much as you think they do.
And you still got clients you need to help,
Yeah.
and also clients that needs assistance. So go out there, do your business.
Yeah, we just see folks being so focused on all these external things that they have no control about.
And please don't let the external define you and how you're gonna conduct your business.
Yeah, but then they turn around, they don't call their clients. So let's be smart here. So good news here, mortgage rates dropping. We've seen mortgage rates continue to drop. Actually, last week's drop was pretty significant kind of thing. We're moving much closer to that 6.5 range. We're about 6.75 right now. We're moving down, and even though it's not moving, we're moving like a herd of turtles, but it is moving.
Slow and steady, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Now, while we're talking about mortgages and everything, right now there's a big trend going on. We're seeing more and more borrowers use gift funds right now.
And gift fund can be from a relative or family member, close friend, or charitable organization, or employer contribution match. So it just depends on what program you're going with. Make sure you talk to your lender and know what gift fund is acceptable based on the loan program you're going with.
Yeah, because it's highly dependent on the type of mortgage. Like what FHA loans are kind of restrictive on who can give gift funds, but
correct.
But things like VA loans, those are a lot less restrictive,
yes.
Right?
Yeah, they're a little more loose.
So that whole thing about working with your lender is so crucial. But also make sure as a real estate professional that you are also having these kind of same discussions, so that you kind of know what's going on. You can help advise your clients right now.
Absolutely.
So we also have a ton of our mortgages right now are FHA. Probably here in the Atlanta area or the Atlanta metro area overall. Almost 20% of our mortgages are FHA loans, and
yes.
that number's been increasing. It's been increasing nationwide, but here, nationwide FHAs make up about 15-16%.
So here in Atlanta, we're a little bit higher,
Yep.
And also the cash buyers around about 32%. That's actually down from where we've been.
Yeah. So we're just seeing where more and more FHA loans are they're not becoming the norm. Conventional is still, by and large, the vast majority of mortgages out there, but they are becoming a lot more popular because right now FHAs are running about, half a point?
Less in PMI, your mortgage mortgage premium. So
and overall rates,
overall rates, and it's just a better. Yep. FHA was designed for first-time home buyer, for buyer that doesn't have a whole lot of cash and maybe not a stellar credit. So therefore, it is designed for a first-time home buyer, while conventional are for your move-ups and more seasonal clients. So, but that's not always the case. So, I want to talk a little bit about appraisal changes, what's going on here. So if you are doing conventional loan, just want you to know, they're requiring the appraiser to be a little more due diligent in their part. Okay, more data transparency, more neighborhood versus market area. So the appraiser had to follow the standard definition. Neighborhood referred to a localized group of complementary property, while market area cover a broader region where demands and competition exist. So this means the comps pool are from a larger, more refined area than before. So they have a little more leeway in that pulling.
Yeah, basically they're changing. Now we don't fully know how this is all going to work out in the wash right now. In the past, and this only applies to our
Conventional loans.
conventional loans. And in the past, our conventional appraisals have been, I'm not going to say lax, but the one that has the most flexibility in there.
Correct.
We tended to have less appraisal issues on meeting price in the past, and we're not really looking for that to change necessarily. This is just they're kind of updating the rules, and so you will see some new changes on when you look at appraisals and what's coming in and that kind of stuff. And so like because there's such a big piece of the market, this can impact this kind of thing. But just what we're expecting is it really just kind of look a little bit different, not necessarily like
It's not
fundamental
certain
change.
indifferent, but the appraiser does have to justify how they're pulling this comp. If they're
Yep.
pulling, if you have a very unique property that sits on 20-acre middle of a cityscape, yeah, that's a very unique property. So that means it'll have a wider range of distance.
Yep.
So all that into consideration, just so you know, the conventional law is changing its policy.
Let's talk about what the state of the market for sellers is right now, because the overall, what's happening in the selling space is kind of interesting right now. We're seeing where days on market are kind of shooting up a little bit. The typical seller right now is selling for 1.8% under list.
Less.
That doesn't mean 1.8% less value, because our sellers are looking for more
The market will
than market
hold.
would necessarily hold. But so we're seeing where the average seller right now is selling for almost 2% under asking. And so that's very, very interesting. We're also seeing where days on market are moving up. 56 days is like the national average at the moment, and that's pretty high, or it's getting higher
It's getting
on
higher.
there.
It's not like what it
Um,
was in pandemic, where
yeah,
we put the listing out there and within 2 days, if not one
yeah,
day, we have multiple offers.
yeah. So overall inventory is increasing, and with rising inventory, that means that there's going to be more competition between the sellers, right?
Correct.
Overall, when we talk about how much inventory that we are seeing, like overall inventory this year versus last year, pretty significant jump. 37% more listings this year than last year. But a lot of people are like, well, that must mean that the prices should be dropping.
Yeah.
Except for like when you look at where we are now on inventory levels compared to where we were
Pre-pandemic.
pre-pandemic, and we are still down
18%.
how much?
18.
18% lower in inventory than where we were before the pandemic ever had. Now, we did see inventory ticking up, late, at the end of last year. It is paring down just a little bit right now here in Georgia, but overall, we are seeing where for a lot of sellers that lock-in effect.
And what do you mean by that, Alan?
Okay, lock-in effect is those folks that had a low interest rate and just like, well, I'm not gonna
I'm not.
move.
Yeah.
But what we see is that what, life happens. You may have a low interest rate and you've got twins on the way, or you may have a low interest rate and there's a divorce,
Or the
or
house no longer fits you.
yeah,
And maybe you need a ranch
yeah,
versus a two-story, or the house is too big, or the house is too small. Whatever the reason is, that lock-in rate effect of the low interest rate, people are letting that go because their current needs exceed that
yeah.
lock-in rate.
Yeah, we're seeing more inventory coming on. We're seeing where more inventory than in the past several years is coming on.
Yeah.
And so we're looking for that to kind of carry through most of the year next year or this year. And so that we're going to keep seeing more inventory move on. At the same point, the number of properties that are selling above list price is at its lowest for what, last 6-7 years kind of thing.
Right.
We're seeing a lot less properties selling above list price right now. A third, 33% of homes on the market at this moment have taken a price cut. And then,
Well, that's partially because the seller still, some sellers are thinking that, hey, I should be getting this. And that when they've been advised by their real estate professional, say, hey, this is where I see where it is. But the seller in their mind have a number set.
mhm,
And therefore, sometimes it's hard to change that opinion, and I understand that. But honestly, like NAR, when they do their analysis, if your house is not sold or have a contract within 2 weeks when you have high traffic, then you're listed too high.
well,
Or if you have no traffic at all, you're listed too high.
I mean, we've been throwing a bunch of different stats about what's happening in our market right now, especially as it pertains to sellers. One big one here is that nationwide, 1 out of 7 homes that are listed, I mean, that they go under contract,
Yeah,
are canceling. Here in Georgia, that number's even higher. 1 out of 5, almost 20% of our
Correct.
listings are falling out during due diligence. See, all these things are really kind of highly impacted, and it really does come down in so many cases to price.
And if you look at broker metric is one of the systems that we use to measure. And the gentleman that who owns that, Pete Krause,
Yeah.
he did a study on it. And what he's saying is that the homes, if you list it right, you actually may get above the market price. But if you list too high, guess what? You're sitting out there for a while.
I mean, it's such an interesting study because he went and analyzed all these listings. And again, this guy just deals mostly with real estate data.
Mm-hmm.
And he found out that an overpriced listing, one, takes longer to sell, two, ends up trading below market value.
Correct.
So higher price, a lot of times our sellers think, well, I'm just going to test the market, like let's just see if we get lucky. That's not a sales strategy at all, right?
Luck
Right?
has something to do with it
Yeah,
right now.
luck's a really, really bad thing to kind of rely on, and the data points really do look at and folks will say, well, if I'm listed way above what I thought I could get it for, how could I end up selling below market? Well, because all that whole time that property sits on the market, like you not only have to just reduce price, now you got to sweeten the deal. You got to put some honey in that pot.
Well, you got to put more seller concessions
Yeah.
and also more latitude for the buyer. So, by the time it's said and done, you would have been better off listed properly the first time and potentially get more than what you listed for.
And see, that's really the conclusion that he kind of came up with. It says that,
Mm-hmm.
because there's so much data and information out there in the real estate space, you can find all these automated valuation models. People go out and start researching the market. They know what homes in this neighborhood are running, that kind of stuff. And what you see is that consumers and agents both recognize a good deal.
Absolutely.
Consumers and agents both recognize a crappy
Well,
deal.
if you think about it, consumer now does more homework than they ever have in our generation.
Yeah.
They go on data and they see, oh, this is this around this area, this is this around this area. So when they see one that pops up, that looks
They get
really
excited,
good.
and they
Yeah,
get
in reasonable
aggressive.
price, they're like,
Yep.
agent, please take me over there right now.
Yeah. So, you know, we always like to be like right at or just below market value to try and
Mm-hmm.
get the most interest on our properties. And now we actually have data that actually supports those kind of recommendations. So all those things being said, we all those stats and figures about selling. Um, one question that we get asked a good bit is, how do you list property? Because so many people just rely on that old school. I put it in the MLS.
I
I
put a
put a sign in the
description on it.
yard, and I put a lockbox on it, and then I pray, right? And then that's just the sad state of affairs, right? And
Well, right
so,
now with AI technology, there's no reason why you should just put a same old description on the property.
well,
So,
we're gonna walk you through, and it's a pretty big laundry list. I do recommend you take some notes or look at our show notes, that kind of stuff, because these are all the steps that we go through when listing a property. And so we want to start off by saying, when
when you're a
our listing,
seller,
yeah, we start the process while we're at our listing appointment, right? And I know that may sound weird, but like, first of all, I want to know, why did my sellers fall in love with this property? Because I need to know, what are the key selling points here, and if they fell in love with this property because of A, B, C, D, E, well, then that's also going to be a great idea for how I'm going to market this property again,
correct.
right? I also want to know who, while you're walking around, who's the most likely buyer for this property, right? Like you want to have a good idea of who you're marketing towards on here. When we go, we take a ton of photos, none for marketing, but they're great for information and to help you reference when you start input the listings, that kind of stuff. We always discuss with our sellers, look, buyers make two decisions about a property: when they first pull in
Yep.
at the curb and when they first walk in the front door. Those those are your money shots. It has to be right and tight. So when you have a seller that's kind of a slob or not the neatest or that kind of stuff, this is going to cost
Or if
them
you have a
money.
lot of scuff marks in the front door, or the
Yeah.
dog has basically took care of it for you, and please get those repaired
Yeah,
because it
sometimes
makes a
sellers will think
huge
just, gosh,
difference.
like it's no big deal. It's a big deal.
Well,
It's
it's
absolutely a big
landscape
deal.
for the seller because that's what they're
Yeah,
used to, and I understand that because a home needs to be lived in. It doesn't need to be perfect
yeah.
every time. So, but from a buyer perspective, they do want to see the pristine of the property, so they don't feel like there's deferred maintenance on the property.
Now, some other things that we ask of the seller while we're at the listing appointment. First one is, is it in the USDA area? Does it qualify for any down
We
payment
can check that
programs?
out. The
I mean, we can do
USDA.
that kind of stuff, but sometimes there's location specific programs that can be really
Yeah,
beneficial to advertise
sometimes you
out.
have like in Atlanta, you have the Belt Loop Atlanta
Yeah,
Invest. You
yeah,
have some type of grants and down payment system
yeah,
in that area. So those are important questions that you probably need to discuss with lender when it comes to
yeah.
financing. But seller may know that they're located in the Beltline area when the grant was available.
Does your seller have an assumable mortgage? That's another great question. We know that the very small percentage of sellers, I mean, of buyers can actually take advantage of that, but there are some. And so it becomes another great point to kind of bring out. One thing that we like to discuss with our sellers is like when we talk price, we're also talking concessions because right now, more and more sellers are
Given
offering
concessions.
concessions. When you go look at new construction, what are all the new construction builders offering?
Concessions.
Concessions. So, we need to talk to our sellers about how seller concessions can benefit the seller. I mean, how buyer concessions can benefit the seller. Things like, can we, like instead of, going at this price, can we go at this price and offer to buy down the rate, offer to pay the HOA fees for a year, pay taxes for a year, those kind of things, include a home warranty. All those things are buyer concessions that now we have something to talk about. We have different key points that we can be speaking to potential buyers about it.
Correct.
And then we want to price aggressively. We need to be right at or just below. But if you don't price it correctly, I don't care what you do to it. I don't care how much lipstick you put on that pig. It's not. I mean, like it's just not going to sell,
Nice.
right? And then the other thing that's really crucial is that you communicate your marketing plan with your sellers. Now, part of this is probably going to be part of your listing presentation, but if you want to build a great listing business, well, you make sure that the sellers know all the things that you're going to do. So now you've got the listing agreement. You're getting ready to go. Now we're jumping into our pre-listing time, right? Our pre-marketing time here. And so we start off. We jump out and we talk to our lender. So we're going to call Sharon and say, hey, Sharon, I need a flyer for pricing on this property. I want to know what a 30-year fixed, a 3-2, like what can we get for a 3-2-1 buy down, an ARM, 30-year FHA, all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of our buyers are buying on payment, not on
Correct.
price, right? And
Well,
so,
at the end of the day, it's debt to income. So the buyer has to be within that range of debt to income in order to qualify for the home.
yeah. Also, now is when we're going to set up professional photography. Always take professional photography. And one thing that I really learned from Ming is go with the photographer, work with the photographer. Like the shots that Ming gets from the photographer, because she's there, she's like, make sure I get a shot of this backyard. Look at this over here. No, she's also at times clean dishes out of the sink to make sure that it doesn't look bad. But when you go with your photographer, that's a really cool thing. At the same time, while we're out there, we will also a lot of times we'll take some shots and do a Facebook, Instagram post about coming soon, and I like to put that out there with just contact me for that. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to email everybody in our database and let them know about a coming soon property, who would be the perfect buyers.
Right.
We love to talk about who the perfect buyers are for properties, that kind of stuff. We're going to go through and we're going to pull all the
Remember,
data.
you can't really describe the characteristic of the potential buyer, but a home you can.
Yes. So we are going to wordsmith our listings. We love to use Chat GPT,
Absolutely.
and in there you put all the main selling features and the key components, and you let Chat GPT spit it out for you. It's not really hard to do. Do make sure that it doesn't violate fair housing
Correct.
on there. Next thing is like, you've got you're getting ready to sell this property, so either call, text, or like mail existing homeowners in the neighborhood, invite them to your open house, let them choose their neighbors, like that, those kind of things.
So make sure you prepare a buyer packet, house flyers, disclosure, agent bio, QR code, link to a property website in your little packet, because that's
Mm-hmm.
going to help you when a buyer come in and view the property and say, hey, all right, all these information.
Well, this is another one that I learned from Ming, because she makes this really neat buyer packet that has everything that a potential buyer would need in there. The other thing is it makes her look so professional, right?
Well, it makes like you put the house as a packet for them, so they know all the answer that all the questions they have pretty much or should be on that packet.
Well, while we're also in pre-marketing, we are going to go in and we're going to prepare. I mean, I'm sorry, we're going to start advertising for our open house. We're going to put it on social media. We're going to do some videos about it. We're going to send it out into our database. We're going to order just listed postcards. We normally like to get 50 just listed postcards. We don't mail those, but we order those just listed postcards to have with us, because we're going to put those out on the open house. Yeah, the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to
Some people do create your zip your flyers
yep.
to market to other real estate agents.
Mm-hmm.
So sign a yard coming soon listed on top is always helpful, so you can create that excitement.
Yeah, one other thing that we love to do, and this is kind of old school.
It is very old
It is old
school.
school, and that's like attach a flyer box to your sign, and then put.
QR code.
Well, I mean, you can use your QR code, but like we'll take that marketing package that Ming does and put that inside there, and you may only get 5 or 6 pulled, but most of the time, if they're willing to get out of their car and grab that, they're pretty interested on there. You want
Hopefully.
to, hopefully, right? But again, we're doing as much as humanly possible here to move forward. Now,
Pre-marketing videos. So it is very helpful when you can do that, because this is how some of my agents are tracking some clients, even for new construction. So if you do a walkthrough of the property and do with an address, price, and name of your contact information, because the bottom line is you want them to call you, right? So do that.
well, the pre-marketing videos is a big one right now, because so many agents I'm like, are you doing your marketing videos? Because if you're not, you're shooting yourself in the foot. But a lot of times agents are like, I don't know what kind of videos should I shoot. This is what we really do recommend. First of all, you need to do a walkthrough on the property, not like every single room, but you definitely need to start on the front. Talk about this is my name, this is the address of the property, this is what we're listed for, and then here's how you get a hold of me. And then it needs to kind of like zoom through the whole house, just a real quick overview on there. You want a short video talking about the key features of what are the great aspects of this property. You want another video talking to the potential buyers. Like, hey, your first time buyer, because this would be a perfect type home for you, that kind of stuff.
Or if a person's looking for a serene property,
Yeah.
when you can sit there during sunset, as it's the
Yeah.
sunset, take a picture of that or video of it, and just describe your feeling about that property.
Yeah, we'd love to do a quick coming soon. Hey, this video is coming soon. I mean, this video,
This home.
this property's coming soon. Like you can't give them any information about it. Like you said, look, this is coming soon, but look at these amazing features of this home. Contact me, and I'll let you know when the home's going to be going live on the market. That kind of stuff. Uh, we spoke earlier about what concessions are your sellers going to offer. So any concession that your seller's going to offer, do just a really quick video talking about, this is the house, this is the address. Our seller's offering, a
X
three two
amount
one buy
concession,
down.
right?
This is $5,000 towards closing costs, whatever it may be. But throw those out there, and then we've already talked about, you got your lender. So talk about what the average person would be able to buy this home for. Be able to say, this is what payments are going to run for a lot of people on this property, especially if it's something that's in the first time buyer range. That could be really, really beneficial to do. And then of course you want to have a video inviting folks to come to your open house.
So, how do you list a property? Seriously.
Well, I mean, we listed on Thursday. And so like we list all of our properties on Thursday, because we know the data is that homes that are listed on Thursday sell for 5% more than homes listed on any other day of the week. And that's largely because real estate agents tend to set their showings up on Thursday and Friday for the weekend. And
For
so
clients that's only
we'll
available
either
then.
list our properties on Wednesday night or Thursday morning. We always plan to have an open house on Saturday. In a lot of cases, we won't even open the house for Thursday and Friday before the open house, but sometimes we will. But normally, we'll list on Thursday, open house on Saturday, because nothing's worse than scheduling an open house and then selling the house beforehand, kind of thing. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's good to sell a house, but but we hate to have to do that. And so if you'll schedule it right out of the gate, you're going to get a lot of excitement, a lot of things going on. Now, at this point, your listing is now gone live. All these things are uploaded. First thing you got to do is you need to go and make sure that you have downloaded the Zillow 3D Home app. I know it sounds high tech, but it's not necessarily 3D. All you have to have is your cell phone. But in order for you to create a Zillow home tour, you must use the Zillow 3D Home app. It's completely free to use, but it will have to be in the system before, because once it is, you open up this app and it'll say, "Hey, do you want to do Zillow home video?" That's where you have to go and do that. Now, now that you're live, you want to share this out on all your social media channels.
And your database.
Yeah, to your database on there.
You also want to reverse prospect in MLS.
So both Georgia and MLS allow you to do reverse prospecting, where you say, "Hey, I know you have a buyer looking in these parameters," kind of thing.
Yep.
And then
but you can also boost your advertising through KV Core if you have that system, AdWorks, or any CRM that you may have. They all offer a additional boost to the post.
Yeah, boost that. And then on the actual open house, right? So now it's that Saturday before, I'm sorry, the Saturday after we just got listed. Hit every social platform.
Absolutely.
Preparing for it. You want to let everybody know about that.
And you want to do at least 15 directional signs. So,
15. Now, some people are like, did I hear you right? How many do we do?
15.
And the reason we do 15 is because we did 5 and it was okay. Then 10 was better. And then 15 was amazing.
More traction, different roads.
More signs, more better. So we put that out there. Go live from your open house while you're there.
Absolutely. You're there anyway, right?
Now they're here already. Now's when you go and you hand out that just listed postcards to all the neighbors. At some point, it's nice to be able to just go take a little walk around, that kind of stuff. We like to do open houses with multiple agents, gives other people things to do. We also like to pull a list of other similar properties that we can share with other people when they come to our open house. I love to offer previews for the neighbors, an early preview to come look at that. And so the whole idea is that you're really creating a lot more excitement and energy about the listings and what you have moving forward. So, like this is the whole step of what we do. I know she's kind of rushing me along here. It's just that for so many agents, they just don't understand this is all the things that we do. For listing homes, there's so much work on the front end that you have to put together, but this is how we market and sell properties. And it's really, really a very effective way. Please don't just be that agent that just does these basic few things.
And I promise you, if you market the property right, it will be sold quickly.
Yeah. Market right, price it right, get it sold. So
really quick on a squatter, HB 1017. So now a squatter is now required to submit a written affidavit, not verbally claimed, of rights to the property. So if they make any false claim, now they have a potential of 10-year in prison as well as $10,000 fine.
See, this is a big deal that goes for, and especially this, we want to make sure that the real estate community is well aware of what happened. This just passed this past year, this squatter law, and we actually had people on YouTube and on the internet teaching people how to defraud here in the state of Georgia, in Atlanta, about all you do is make a fake, all you do is make a fake lease and do this, and they can't touch you. Well, that's changed now, because if they make a false claim, it can be $10,000 and it can be jail time, 10 years jail time.
That's a long time.
And so
that is free rent.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So just know that is out there. Our landlords, our property owners have a lot more rights than they had previously. It was that squatters had a lot of rights, kind of thing. And we don't want anyone taking advantage of that. That's not what we're talking about.
And our homeowners or our investor are really suffering because they couldn't get the folks out. And
Yeah.
not only that, the house gets damaged while they're in there.
Yeah.
So if you want to get more real estate idea tips and tricks, please watch us below and then one of our
Yep.
mastermind or catch one of our live CE training at www.mx1training.com.
Have a great week.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.